Peggy 16.
So we're approaching launch of Sniper Elite 3. It's the sort of highly anticipated sniping game from Rebellion, and they've got a lot to prove with this iteration of the sequel after sort of two, well, not dodgy, but rather middling attempts to get the sniper format down correctly.
The big trick they've pulled on this one is just diversifying the game a little bit. I think that there's sometimes been too much of concentration on creating the perfect sniper experience, but ultimately sitting in the dirt for a week waiting to get that one headshot isn't exactly the most interesting game. So now they're trying to integrate some different styles in there and give you a bit more option to play in some sort of more of a stealth way.
Yeah, totally. I think, you know, one of the biggest problems we actually saw with Sniper Elite 2 was it was very sort of almost corridor based. You know, it was very focused, and if your snipe didn't go as planned, if something went awry, you'd basically end up having all of your sort of enemies bearing down on you. They'd know exactly where you were, and it didn't create that authentic experience like, you know, they sort of want to deliver here. So now Rebellion are basically taking it not open world but sort of open areaed. Yeah. So you have the scope to either snipe, and it will take a couple of shots before enemies are able to pinpoint your location. You can choose to not run and gun, but maybe go for a bit more of an assault approach and mix up your styles. Yeah. Or you can go for straight up stealth, and that's going to give you even more scope to sort of sneak around, take your shot, move away from the detection area, and then get into position for yet another shot or some environmental damage, something like that.
Certainly what we're seeing in this trailer is these really great environments, these sort of little playgrounds you can experiment with. And some of the icons you'll see popping up are there to sort of indicate items of interest, areas that might be good for distraction, say a bell maybe.
Yeah. Totally.
You might be able to hide your next shot by sort of shooting as the bell rings, or canisters you might be able to blow up, again causing distractions, directing attention away from you. And so this is a new kind of tactical element that maybe wasn't present in previous games. This helps just give it a little bit more kind of richness and just a bit more texture, so the moment to moment isn't quite so formulaic. There's a bit more openness to it, and you can really make your own choices about how you want to play.
Yeah, I think, and you know what, formulaic was a nice way of putting the previous Sniper games, which tended, to be honest, a little bit mundane at times. And you know, we've played about, I'd say, an hour or two of this at a preview stage, hands-on, and it was surprisingly fun, you know, just the sort of breadth of options that it does give you, you know, because sometimes you don't want to snipe, sometimes you do want to get up in there and sort of take some Nazis down with your fists, which is always good fun. But then obviously it is great to you know, snipe a guy from a couple hundred yards away and just see their face explode in like sort of super glorious X-ray.
Yeah, the kills in this game have kind of gone up to another level again, as you might expect. They are sort of the reward. They're a reward for a good shot, and they're a somewhat gruesome reward.
Yeah.
But I would say they're probably not unlike like a fatality in Mortal Kombat.
It's worse than Mortal Kombat.
It's pretty nasty.
It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that's kind of what you want from this sort of game. You know, they are striving for a little bit more authenticity, but it is still essentially quite an arcadey shooter.
Yeah.
Very silly, very fun. You know, it does still reward you for going through and picking up as many sort of sniper X-ray hits, which are essentially your critical attacks and critical hits. And it's just nice to sort of have that option to completely decimate everything in sight, which always entertains me, and I'm easily pleased apparently, so it's fine.
But as I say, that's not the only part of the game anymore. There's more to it than that. There's more tactical choices involved. There's more movement involved. There's a bigger environment to play around with involved. And I've got to say, actually been quite impressed with the look of the close quarter combat so far in this game. It's looking pretty decent. Not like necessarily Splinter Cell or Metal Gear level, but no. Yeah, decent.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, usually with these sorts of games, if you're in close quarters, you're pretty screwed. This time you do have a few more options. You know, when you attack something, if you make any noise, it leaves like a ghost of your character, which sort of shows you where you need to get away from, which is perfect for sort of, you can make a noise, shoot a gun, run around the corner, get your knife out, and just wait for guys to sort of run around to that area and check it out, and that gives you enough time to sort of, you know, strike and sort of take them out before anyone else is alerted. So, you know, as we've sort of discussed, Sniper Elite 3 does have a lot going for it. It does seem to be doing more than any other game in this franchise has done before, so we've got high hopes when it hits Xbox One and Xbox 360 in July.